Hi, it's Mark Rogers here to talk to you about step 3 in getting ready to have your website built. And this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, as we say here in this part of the country. And this is where you will put together everything that you've assembled at this point. This assumes that you have your content written, you have your content written and saved, that you have pictures ready, that you have a header ready, that you have a logo ready, or that could be something that we're building for you. But this is where you take everything that you've got that you're going to submit to PathSites, put it together, and send it. And this is how we'll do it here. This assumes that the listener and the observer of this video does not know how to do any of this, though you may know how to do all of it. But this will give you some clarity on exactly how to proceed to put your content together, sort it, and to send it to PathSites to get it built, to get your website built. So, preparing your website content, the first thing you want to do is create your folders. Folders is how you will sort everything. I'm using Windows here. This will be applicable to numerous versions of Windows, and it will be similar if you're using a Mac. So none of it's complicated, but this is just not assuming that you know exactly how to do any of this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is folders. You're going to need a primary folder, and you're going to have a primary folder that's going to hold everything. It's going to hold all of your content. Your primary folder will be a folder that you'll just put on the desktop of your computer is the best place to put it. So what I've done here is I've gone over to my desktop, and I've created a folder here, and this is a folder with the website name. Whatever your website name would be, that's what this folder would be. Now in Windows, you create a folder on your desktop by very simply taking your mouse and right clicking and going down here to New and Folder, and that's all there is to it. And to change the name of that folder, you can right click on it, rename, and you can name it whatever you want to. So I've named this one out here, I've named it just website name. That's whatever your website would be, that folder would be named that. Inside that folder, remember that inside that folder we're going to sort everything that you're going to turn over or you're going to send to PathSites. So the first thing you want to do is put 8 content folders in that primary folder. This is for the 8 pages that you're going to create or have created for your website. So here's what it looks like inside here, and just in case, again, this is not assuming anybody knows anything about this, I've gone ahead and put 7 of them in here, just like I did on the desktop. I created the folders, and each one of these folders will be named the name of each web page that's going to be in your website, numbering them 1 through 7. So that you can determine in placing things in these folders which page is going to be a priority page, which is going to come first, second, third, fourth, and so on. And finally, for the 8th page, I'm just doing this again just so you see how it's done. Just like I did on the desktop, I right-clicked on the folder. I'm going down here to New, to Folder. In that folder, I will rename it to Folder 8, and that would be whatever the page name is of that last folder. And that's what you would have inside these, and each one of these folders is where you will sort your content that you're going to have for your website. So you're going to have 8 contents in that primary folder. You'll have a header that will go into the primary folder also. If you have a header that you want to use, that you know you want to use, you can put that in there. That would generally be a header in some type of picture file format, in a JPEG or PNG file, but it would be a header if that's available. You don't have to have a header. I'll make a header for you. That's part of building the website if you want us to build a header. That's not a difficult thing, and it is part of it unless you have a header that you want to use. A logo will also be placed in your primary folder. Your logo is like, this is my logo up here for PathSites, is this text logo right here is PathSites. That's my logo. If you have a logo like this or some type of text and graphics or some kind of combination, you can put that into your primary folder and that will be used. I do, through PathSites, develop and create text logos like that, not just like that, but a bunch of different kinds that I can create for you. Creating a logo, I give people, basically I find out what they want, I get a description of what they want, and I give them 4 different options. I create 4 text logos for them and give them the option of which one they'd like to use based on what they've given me as far as the information goes. That is $35 added onto the cost of the website to create these text logos. If you have some kind of graphic you want to add with that, you can send me the graphic and I'll add the text to the graphic and create a single logo out of something like that. So that can all be done too. So if you have a logo, you can insert it into your primary folder. If you need a logo created, a professional looking or sharp looking or cool looking logo created out of text, I can do that for you for $35, and that can also be done with graphics that you provide. If you have some type of graphic that you'd like to provide and combine that with text, with a text logo, then we can do that. Same price. And also you'll write your about, privacy, and contact pages and insert them into the primary folder. They won't go into a one of these, but they will go into your primary folder. So in your primary folder, that's the one that I created on the desktop over here that has your website name. Inside that folder there will be the 8 page folders, content folders, and there will be a header, a logo if you have one available, a header if you have one available, and your about, privacy, and contact pages, which you'll save them to that primary folder in here. Don't put it in any of these pages. Everything here will go into this primary folder. Now finally, you're going to be sorting your content. You'll put your text into each folder. When you write an article for page 1, whatever this page name is, and write that article about that, you're going to save it to this first page folder in your website, or on your website in your website folder here. Also, when you get pictures and graphics, I include that in each web page, up to 3 pictures or graphics into each, inserted in each web page that I build. Those will also go into each folder. So those will also be organized in the folder that you want them in. So essentially in page 1 here, whatever the page name is, you'll have an article in here written in text form, and you'll have up to 3 pictures and graphics in this folder. That will be so I can take it and copy and paste this text and also do a little editing on it into the web pages, and also inserting these pictures at appropriate places in that text and on that page. And that's the way that I keep it sorted, and that's the way that you would send it to me, so that each page is sorted and organized that way, so I know where everything goes and what pictures go in what page. And so that's the way everything will be sorted. This is actually pretty simple in so far as what actually has to be done to make this happen. So your completed content will be your primary folder with all 8 folders, your content, graphics, and pages. So once you're done putting all of your content and sorting it, what you will have is you'll have this primary folder. You'll have this primary folder with these 8 folders in it. You'll have your header and logo if you have those available, and you'll have your about, contact, and privacy page in here. In each one of these folders, 1 through 8, with each page named, and the page name is important because I'll have to know what to name each page on the website, you'll have in each one of these folders 1 text document that will be the content for your website, and you'll have up to 3 graphics or photos that will be inserted in that article. That's how it will be sorted, and that's how it will be organized, and that finally is how you will send it to me in zip form. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. All content. So once you have all this, once you have everything sorted out, everything in this primary folder here, you're going to zip the folder, and that's the form you'll send it to me in. Now, how do you zip a folder? Now, this is in This is in Windows, and you can do it on a Mac, and you'll do it specific to how it's done on a Mac, but it's very similar, and they work the same once they're done. What you're going to do over here in Windows is, and this is Windows 7, I believe exactly the same way in Windows Vista. There is a little difference in the wording and terminology in Windows XP, but in Vista and Windows 7, you'll go to your primary folder, which you have everything in at this point, right here. You're going to right click on that and go to Send To. And there's a little arrow out beside that, and you'll get a menu out beside it. And right at the top, or right in this list right here, you see compressed or zip folder. All you have to do is click once on that, and it automatically creates this folder in a zip folder. That's the folder. And the reason that that's done is because what that does is it compresses everything into that zip folder and makes it a file that can be sent individually without quite taking up as much room and without being as difficult to send. So you've got everything in this zip folder, and that's what you will email to me. You'll simply send an email to me attaching this website zip folder as an attachment, and I'll get all of your content in that folder, and I'll be ready to begin to work on your website when I get that. So that's how this is all done. You start with simply making your primary folder. In that folder, put 8 folders. Also in that primary folder, if you have available a header, you can put that in there. If you have a logo, you can put that into it. We can make a logo for you if you don't have one. That's $35. In that primary folder, you would also put your About, your Privacy, and your Contact pages into that folder. You would sort your content, text into each folder, and your 3 pictures and your graphics into each folder based on the name of those folders and how they're going to be put on your website. Your completed content will be your primary folder with all your 8 folders, your content graphics, and pages. Finally, you will zip that primary folder, and you will email the zip folder to me. Once you have all of your content together, in other words, you do all this when everything is already written and you know where your graphics and your pictures and everything are. The estimated time to do this will take you a couple hours. It doesn't take long to simply just sort this stuff. Once you have everything written and once you have all your graphics together, this actually should come together as you're writing, as you're downloading pictures. It should all come together as you go. So that once you've written all your content, once you download your pictures for each page of content, once you have your header, your logo, all those type things, your About, Contact, and Privacy, these should all be being put into this primary folder and into these folders anyway as you go. So that once you've gotten your 8th page of content written, this should be complete. Everything here should be complete. Then you simply zip it, email it to me, and that gives me what I need to begin on your website. The estimated time to do all that, once you get down to the finality of it and you've put everything together, a couple hours should take care of that. That shouldn't be anything that takes much time at all, and it zips it all down into this one folder. So that what you have is you send something that looks like this to me, and that's what I get in an email, but that contains your entire foundational website, and that's the way that will work. I can go from there. And in general, basically, as far as building the website goes, now there can be some factors that play into this. If you need some instruction or you need some input from me, there can be a little bit of time delay in that. But as far as me building it, I can usually build a website once I have all the content and know exactly what the customer or the client wants. I can generally build an entire website in 2 to 3 days and have it ready to go. So this is the basic things that you'll be doing in each one of these steps, and there will be significant communication between us by means of email. Email because it's easier to write instructions than it is to say them and have somebody remember them. So there would be quite a bit of email exchange, but this is the way it works, and this is very easy to put together and to transfer files and things this way. So that is lesson number 3 in preparing for your website. And if everything has moved up to this point right here, this is the point at which I would have your content for your website in my hand on my computer. And this is where I would start building your website, and within about 3 days should have your website built and ready to go. So that's step number 3 in preparing to have your website built. There's going to be one more, and that's with help with your content. So when you're done with this one and you've got this one down pretty well in your mind, go ahead and go to step number 4, which is help with your content. I'll talk to you soon.